Nothing is going to happen there. This is not the first time we are conducting elections.
If they win,
they will not win.
In December of 2016, the Gambian people came together under a coalition to vote out a president who promised to rule the country for 1 billion years.
We have no plans to stay long. All we are here for is to set a just system.
No election, no military, or no foreign power can take me out of office unless Allah says so.
The same man also claimed that if the people refused to vote for him, the Jinns will. This did not hold true for 2016. Perhaps the Jinns too had had enough of his 22 years rule. The 2016 coalition was formed under the guidance and vision of Halifa Sallah, a man with an impeccable character. Now this man had a very clear and vivid vision. He had a plan, a strategy that he laid down for the coalition to follow in the form of an MOU.
So this individual who has been selected by you is now our instrument in order to end self-perpetuating rule and impunity in this country. That person will make a promise to serve only 3 years, and that cabinet will be dissolved, and we will go back to elections where there will be second round of voting, and all the parties will seek the mandate of the people. This is the agreement.
An agreement was struck, promises were exchanged, and signatures were required to seal the deal. Adama Barrow, who is often referred to as an accidental president, became the flag bearer of the coalition party.
First of all, I will answer your first question. I am not an accidental president.
Up until the 2016 election, the majority of Gambians never heard of Adama Barrow. He was the treasurer of the biggest opposition party at the time, the United Democratic Party, UDP. But just 1 year prior to the 2016 election, Jammeh jailed most of the party's top executive members with the exception of Adama Barrow and a few others.
Let me warn you, those evil vermin called opposition, if you want to destabilize this country, I will bury you 950 and no Westerner can say anything.
Since the party's long-term flag bearer, Usainu Dabo, and his deputies were all in prison, the UDP decided to present Adama Barrow to the coalition, and with the huge delegates they had, Barrow emerged as the flag bearer for the coalition in the midst of many seasoned politicians and qualified candidates from other parties. The coalition went on to win the election, making history as the first political opposition to ever take out a dictator through the ballot box.
Of the total votes cast in the election, I hereby declare Adama Barrow duly elected to serve as President of the Republic of the Gambia.
The streets lit up with jubilation and excitement.
This is the freedom for our youth, a freedom for our moms, a freedom for our community. 2016, new year, new style, new president, new life.
Perhaps because the man who once proclaimed that he would rule the Gambia for 1 billion years was defeated, but more so because he accepted the defeat in good faith and congratulated the president-elect live on TV for the whole world to see.
I came on a Friday, 22nd of the month of July 1994. Today, Friday, the 2nd of December 2016, you Gambians have decided that I should take the back seat.
It was like that kind of theatrical excellence right before the hero gets into trouble. Mr. I accept Allah's will did a 360 and the country went into a spiral.
I hereby announce to you Gambians my total rejection of the election results and thereby annulling the elections in its entirety.
The streets cleared. The voices quieted down. Once again, uniforms symbolized authority and power returned to the barrel of the gun. All the members of the coalition went MIA except for one man. He stood by the people like a shepherd, guiding the conversation, influencing public opinion while calming the nerves of a tensed nation. This man was the architect of the coalition and its spokesperson.
So anybody who accepts to be under the dictate of a president whose term has expired will be a rebel.
Halifa Sallah was the voice of consciousness at a time when few would dare to speak.
Right of the incumbent to go to court as a loser. But the fact is already known, and we are confident that those facts are incontestable And it is incontrovertible as far as we are concerned that President-elect Barrow won and will therefore be the President of the Republic of the Gambia on the 19th.
Eventually, the people found a voice of their own. It was a voice that spoke in 3 words: Gambia has decided. The hashtag Gambia has decided became a national mantra that echoed throughout the world. It was printed on t-shirts, car stickers, graffitied on walls, and like a wildfire, it consumed social media and became an unstoppable force with too much power to ignore. While all this was playing out in the Gambia, the president-elect, Adama Barrow, was in hiding and had to go on exile to Senegal, where he was sworn in. This man of no political history, no major public service experience, was now sitting on a throne without a clue of how to navigate the intricacies that come with sitting on the seat of the presidency. Halifa Sallah was unofficially appointed as a presidential advisor, a role he did not hold for long. Fatoumata Jallow Tambajang, who helped form the coalition, was appointed vice president, and the rest of the coalition members got ministerial positions. Ousseynou Dabo, founder and leader of the United Democratic Party (UDP), was eventually released from prison and given a ministerial post too. Other party leaders who were once presidential aspirants also took ministerial posts, with the exception of Halifa Sallah, who chose to go back to the National Assembly as a lawmaker. Soon after, some of the coalition's ministers were accused of corruption, building mansions and buying expensive luxury cars within such a short period of time. Eventually, as Adama Barrow began sacking former members of the coalition, now ministers, questions about the exact content of the coalition MOU came up. The most contentious part of this conversation was whether or not the president-elect would stay for 3 years was contained in the MOU. Many of the coalition members who are either fired or resigned from Barrow's government argued that the president should respect the 3 years agreement. But those who were still in the system claimed that the MOU wasn't signed and that the 3 years clause was against the constitution, which stipulates that an elected president had to sit for 5 years. Lawyer Ousseynou Dabo, the former boss to Adama Barrow, was serving as vice president at this time, and he said that he would sue President Barrow if he, the president, resigned after 3 years, and insisted that Barrow must complete his 5 years term as dictated by the Constitution.
We'll stand by Barrow at all costs, and even if all others are against him, we will not be against him. We'll go with him, because after all, he was chosen from among the UDP ranks. So for UDP, Barrow is our Barrow. And we will never abandon our Barrow. We'll never abandon him. Come rain, come sunshine, whatever.
However, a little less than a year later, when Mr. Dabo was fired as vice president, the same man demanded that the president honor the 3-year agreement. Many political commentators stated that Ousseynou made a huge political miscalculation by hoping that his former treasurer, now president, had no political ambition, and that at the end of his 5 years presidency, he will step down and allow him, Mr. Dabo, to contest for the presidency. Not knowing that Adama Barrow, like many African presidents before him, has a long-term political ambition. As the debate went on, a group of young people calling themselves 3 years Jotna, a Wolof statement meaning the 3 years are over, rose to the moment with one agenda: to make the president honor the 3-year agreement as was agreed upon by the coalition. In protest to the 3 years Jotna movement, a new youth movement emerged calling themselves the Barrow Youth Movement. The Barrow Youth Movement later became the National People's Party, NPP, President Adama Barrow's political party. Ahead of the December 2021 presidential elections, NPP decided to form a coalition with APRC. APRC is the party of EYEGAMBIA, the former president of the Republic of the Gambia. Within the span of 4 years, few months, we went from a coalition to a collusion, and to the creation of a political party by a president who was supposed to lead a 3-year transitional government. Woefully, that same president has now formed an unholy alliance with the man accused of monstrous atrocities during his 22 years rule.